Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when I feel like 8 o'clock, and I said I was going to be having a little bit of a retreat, and I still have another week to go, but I did have time to just kind of take a day off from the retreat, come in here and talk about a few of the goings on that's happening in the NHL. One of them, the big story, of course, is the Oilers. It looks likely that Kenny Holland is going to take on that challenge in Edmonton. And by the way, I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. Yes. Okay, well, kudos to Kenny for taking this on. This is obviously something he wants to highlight his career on. He wants to challenge himself. Kenny's that type of guy. He's not a guy that's just going to sit around and do nothing, that's for sure. With Detroit, he had a little bit of a bubble going on. He had a lot of things going well for him there. A lot of advantages. Now he's going into an organization that is basically a shambles, and with bad contracts, a history of poor drafting. The good news is for Oilers fans is the two areas that they're probably the worst at. Holland is the best at. Holland has always been known for a great eye for talent, young talent, and he set up an amazing development system and team in Detroit. They have always developed their young players extremely well. Development of young players is probably even more important than drafting them. And I think if you actually ask Kenny Holland or talk to Kenny Holland away from, like, just on a personal level, he would say that the biggest reason why Detroit did as well as they did is because their player development was top notch. You can draft players like Puya Harvey, for instance, who have talent, but if you do not have the system and personnel in place that are top of the line in developing players, progressive and willing to learn and do different things than maybe they even haven't done, and to continue to look at different ideas. That's pretty much what Kenny Holland is about. You're probably not going to get anywhere. And there's something else I want to talk about Kenny Holland, and this is like the big elephant in the room when it comes to Kenny Holland. He's won 3 cups. Nobody likes to disrespect him and all of that. What the biggest flack that Kenny Holland gets is that he has bad contracts. Giving Nielsen $6 million a year. I think Helm was getting a very large sum of $4 to $5 million, something like that, per year on a long contract. Cronwall, stuff like that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think these contracts were as bad as you think. What Kenny Holland did, he knew that they were going to go through a rebuild. And he wanted the best players that were available that, guess what, were good at working with and developing young players on the ice. And Helm and Nielsen are all of that, especially Nielsen. He was well known for that when he was on the island. It was known across the league. There was when you go to, and also there's another aspect of this. When you go to draft players, have you ever wondered why the heck didn't that team pick that player? You had it in Boston. There was when Boston picked 3 players in 2015, and people were wondering. I think it was DeBrusk, Senyshyn, and I always forget the defenseman there. A lot of times, when they go to do their meetings with young players, the agents will kind of give indications that they don't really want to go that direction. Now, why wouldn't you want to go into onto a team like Boston? Well, I'll tell you why. You got Seguin and Hamilton, young players who they gave up on early for various reasons. They have a strict policy and a very how do I explain it, reserved way of looking at players. They don't like players partying at all and all kinds of stuff like that. They're very strict. So like guy like Kyle Connor in Winnipeg probably told his agent, you know what, just tell the Boston people I'm not really interested. And are you going to draft a guy that's telling his agent that? Probably not. Now here's the rub. Detroit is known for developing and being patient with their players. They let their young players have some fun. They're looser, and they are extremely good at development. Plus, they get guys like Nielsen and Helm, who all the players love, to be there and guide and let them grow. It's an atmosphere that is well known in the league. They can pretty much draft any player they want, which is another reason why they seem to draft so well. So I'm going to give Holland a little bit of a push here, or a little bit of a plug. He got those players when they were going to rebuild anyways. He was just filling up the cap, but he was bringing in players that was going to help those young players develop. Now those contracts are starting to come up when they got to start paying these young players, and these young players are going to become the veterans that are doing what Helm and them do. Here's another thing. When you give good players like that the money that they do, and you need to bring in some free agents to fill in your roster, people are going to run to you. Look at how well Helm was taken care of. Look at how well Nielsen was taken care of. Look at how well Cronwell was taken care of. I think I'll sign with Detroit because they're not just going to throw me aside when they don't need me anymore. See what I mean? So Kenny Holland was a very smart guy. You got to look a little deeper than just the black and white surface to see how well Kenny Holland did there. I think Edmonton is taking the first best move they've done in their upper management since. I'm getting long here. I'd like to the next question is how much is he going to change the organization and stuff like that. I think that's going to happen over time. He's going to be very patient. He's going to give people a chance because that's the kind of guy he is. Well, that's my full 42%, boys and girls. That's all I have to give. Give yourself hit the subscribe button and the little bell thingy. That's what they tell me to tell you. But if you do, I will send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace, helicopter to your door, and signed by me. Have a great day, and lots of love to you.